Hi everyone, welcome to Table for Two. I am the Elusive Bigfoot.
And I'm Onezie.
And today we are talking about our top 5, in no particular order, our favorite games for fillers. So a little background on fillers. Fillers are interesting because the way that I look at them, they are what is going to fill the time while I'm waiting for something. Usually it's while I'm waiting in between for another group to finish a game so I can join them on the next time that they play that game or a different game, or we're waiting to fill some time while we're waiting for our dinner to show up at a restaurant, such as at Denny's. How would you describe it, or what criteria did you use?
The same way. So I view filler games as we can't start the main game yet.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do something until we start the main game.
Yeah. And sometimes some people will use them as warm up or cool down kind of games, something to start the brain going, or, it's been a really, push night and we just want to relax and have just sort of a wind down. Don't want to use my brain too much. So, my two honorable mentions. First one I have is a game you've seen before, which is So Clover. Is it upside down?
Nope.
Oh, okay. It is a great game that has, it's for words. So people who are just want to do a little bit of thinking as a co-op, you're going to place word categories on each of the petals, sections of the petals, and then you're going to find a word that joins those two words together. But the hard part is because there's a square with words that go all around it, there's another petal. It's going to have to connect this one to this one now. And so you'll figure out what you want to use. You'll mix up the cards. Your teammates will try to figure out where they were actually supposed to go. So that is one of my honorable mentions, So Clover. My next honorable mention that I have is a little tiny game. It comes in this envelope, this little wallet. It is the Skulls of Sedlec. So you are over at the grave sites at Sedlec, and you are making sure that everyone is buried properly. You're moving the bodies around, the skeletons around, and you get points based on where each one lies. So this is a great one, not just to use as a filler, but I really like to play this around Halloween as well. That is Skulls of Sedlec. So I guess now we're ready for our top 5.
Okay, would you like to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Why don't I go first? I'm going to bring out a game I've talked about before for a filler game. Zombie dice. It's dice. It's zombies. All you do is roll dice out of the can.
Mm-hmm. The brain case, I think it says.
You are a zombie. You're trying to get brains. You're trying to avoid gunshots. You can stop rolling at any time. But if you choose to roll again and you roll too many gunshots, then you're out that turn and you don't get anything. It's a fun game. You could play with any number of people, and it's a great game to fill the time.
I like the expansions that come with it. They have 2 that I know of. One is the movie double feature where it has the hottie and the hero, where they can rescue each other from the zombies, so then you lose those brains. They also have the one that I really prefer, which is the school bus, where the school bus sometimes will run over runners or it will stop at a dead end. It just fun twist on a push your luck type of game.
So that's Zombie Dice.
All right. My next game that I'm going to talk about is pretty new. It is called Cat in the Box. So this is a trick-taking game, but it has a little bit of a twist. It's kind of like Schrodinger's cat, where the question is, well, if you can't see the cat, then it's kind of there and not there at the same time. So you don't see the suit. So you have to kind of like say what the suit is. You get to invent it. So if I'm playing, let's say that I have a 3 and somebody has already played the blue 4, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to play the blue 3 because now maybe I'll lose and I want to win that trick. So maybe I'll say this is a green 3. So I actually get to say it, and then the other people will then say what suit they have then. So all the cards are black, they're blank, and they say what their suits are. That is Cat in the Box.
All right, next up, I have the box for More Dude.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
However, I couldn't find the box for Dude.
I have both in the same box.
They're both in the same box. That's why I couldn't find the one.
If you saw what the games look like, I'm very creative at saving room.
So the game is Dude, 3 to 6 players. All the cards have the word dude written on them,
Mm-hmm.
and you just sit around, you draw a card out of your personal deck, you say the word dude, how you think it should be said based on how it's written on the card.
Dude?
Dude,
Dude?
dude. And then if you match, you say sweet.
Yeah, you look each other in the eye, you find your match amongst all the table, and you look at each other and you go at the same time, sweet.
And then if you are in fact a match when you reveal the card, each of you gets to keep that card as a point. So that's Dude. It's a really fun and hilarious game. It's more hilarious if you're not playing it. So if you just walk into a room and there's a bunch of people sitting around the table saying, dude,
Dude?
dude,
Dude?
dude,
Dude?
that's really funny. And they don't quite know what's going on. That could be great too. That's Dude.
And more dude.
And more Dude.
All right, my next game is a game that you've heard us talk about before, and that is Point Salad. This is a card game where you're going to be picking up cards on your turn, either because of the point requirements, such as it'll say for every pair of carrots, you get 3 points. So then maybe you're going to start to look for carrots that are on the table, or you can take one of the vegetables. Love this game. Very easy to play. Pretty quick.
All right, the next one I have up is a big box for Pyramid Arcade. It is a big box full of about 40 different games, something like that. And it plays 2 to 20 players. You don't need to get the whole box.
22 games.
22 games. You don't have to buy the whole box. They sell pyramid games that are just 1 or 2 games in a little bag. And they use
We have several of those.
a handful of plastic pyramids of different sizes. And there's different rules to play different games with them. So some of them use a specialty mat that's included, several specialty mats. Some of them you just play on the tabletop. You know, you play on a napkin or something like that.
Or you have a special die.
Yeah, special die, yeah. So the pyramid games are great. We take it to restaurants, not the whole box, but just
It's a little bag.
a little bag of pyramids, and we'll play 2 or 3 pyramid games while we're waiting for our dinner to show up.
I am impressed with Andy Looney, who has created this game. You know, these are wonderful games. It's amazing the different types of things that you can do with a set of 3 different sizes of pyramids of different colors. Very, very creative.
Yeah, it's sort of like you sit down with some plastic and you say, how many different games can I make out of this? How many good games can I make out of this? And you know, they're all good. So
yeah. There's a few in there that are probably lower on my favorite list, but there's definitely a few that I really, really like.
All right, so that's Pyramid Arcade.
All right. My next game is Fluxx. So we've shown you I think it was the monster Fluxx, where it had universal monsters. This particular one is Monty Python Fluxx. And so you don't need to know Monty Python in order to win, but if you do know Monty Python, you will definitely have opportunities for extra points. Like there's one about counting to 3. I think it's like every time the number 3 would show up, then it's actually a 5 or something like that. There's definitely a lot of riffs on the movies and the TV shows. Goals always change. What you try to, your objectives will always change, so you'll be changing how you play it to match those goals. That is Fluxx.
All right, my next 2 games were on somebody else's list, so I need to borrow the box.
Which one?
Let's do So Clover.
So Clover it is.
Talked a little bit about So Clover. All right, it's a word game.
There, done.
It's a word game. Have fun. You've been instructed. It's fun. You can either play in teams or partners, or you can play with one person as the writer of the word and everyone else trying to guess. You can try to do points that way. There's several different ways to play.
One thing I like about this game, even though it does say that it is for 3 to 6 players, I have found it works great for 2. Like we'll just be sitting on the couch and we'll be passing this back and forth. So that is very true. Also, I mean, we've played more than 6 players. We have just done a whole table of people. We're all trying to figure this out and done it as teams. Sometimes we'll break off into separate teams. I mean, I like that it is just such a great definition of a filler game for me.
And if you like word games and you really want to figure out a single word that will connect duck and spoon together or something like that, sometimes it's really
Egg?
difficult.
Maybe egg?
A spoon,
An egg spoon?
an egg spoon? I
Yeah.
don't know. But that's the challenge is creating one word that connects two other words together in a way that other people can reverse engineer it.
And sometimes I just say, it's not going to make sense. I got pretty good for most of it. The other one is a throwaway.
So that's So Clover again, and we hope you like it.
All right. My last game is a game that you've seen also, The Crew. So this is a trick-taking game. It is a co-op trick-taking game with sometimes minimum, well, there is minimum communication about what you can share. Sometimes you can say, this is the highest card I have of this suit, or this is the lowest card, or this is the only card I have of this suit, to help everyone know, how can we play our games such that the correct person ends up winning the trick? Because you're always going for that objective since it is a co-op. Who needs to win that particular trick? That is The Crew.
All right, and my last one, which was also on your list, so I'll need to borrow your box of Cat in the Box.
Cat in the Box.
Cat in the Box.
There you are.
So we talked about how this is a Schrodinger's cat kind of game. It's a trick-taking game, but there are no suits. You declare what the suits are. There are no suits on the cards. So you play a 3, and you have decided that it's the blue 3, and then nobody else can play the blue 3 because it's already been played. So you just need to keep track of it with cubes, I think, and you keep track of which ones have been played and which ones haven't. When you can't play something, when it's impossible for you to play something, it's a paradox. And it's sort of interesting. So if
you create the paradox, you lose.
If you're into theoretical physics and trick-taking games, Cat in the Box is a great game for you, and it's a great filler game. I think it's 10 minutes to play or something like that.
It depends how quickly you can win or lose it. I think up to 30 it says on the box, but I haven't found that it takes 30 minutes.
No.
I would guess closer to 20.
No, I think we paradox out after a couple of rounds or something like that.
Yeah.
And we find that you've won and you're better at theoretical physics than I am.
It is luck of the draw, man. It is luck of the draw.
Right, so that is Cat in the Box again.
All right. So I think that is it for our top 5 filler games. Thank you so much for joining us. Please put in the description, put in the comments, what are your favorite filler games? We're always looking for more. So until next time, I am the Elusive Bigfoot.
And I am Onezie.
Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.